My name is Tim, and this is the year that would change my life forever. Happy New Year! Happy New Year! I just didn't know it yet.
Tim, my dear son, this is going to sound strange, but there's this family secret that the men in the family can travel in time.
This is such a weird joke.
It's not a joke.
If it's true, which it isn't.
Although it is.
But if it was, which it's not.
Which it is.
How would I actually...
You go into a dark place, clench your fists, think of the moment you're going to, and you'll find yourself there.
It's going to be a complicated year.
It's going to be a complicated life.
I am so privileged to sit across from you. You are, by far, my favorite actress.
Oh my goodness.
You are in my holy trinity of favorites. Wedding Crashers, Midnight in Paris, Mean Girls.
Wow.
And now About Time. I was moved to tears. I laughed. I hugged my boyfriend who I saw the movie with. I felt nostalgic. I feel like you just have this like je ne sais quoi for picking these scripts that make us feel so many emotions. What is your like method to the madness when you read a script like About Time and you're like, sign me up, let's go do this?
Oh, well, thank you. That's lovely of you to say.
Of course.
I don't know. It's it kind of comes off the page. It sort of grabs
Jumps
you
at you.
or it doesn't. Yeah, and this one really did. You know, I've always loved Richard's films, but I understood from reading the script, it was the first Richard Curtis script I had read, and that it's all really on the page. You know, it's not something we have to mine out later in rehearsal. It's he writes that stuff so well, and I did. I felt like calling my mom after I finished the script, and yeah, and when movies move you to sort of do something, I think that's what's so powerful about them.
What was it about this script that you were like, sign me up, let's do this?
Well, I miss my dad. Everybody does who's lost their father. He was a wonderful man in a quiet way, not unlike the character that I was required to play. I love working with Richard Curtis anyway.
Yes, of course.
And this was one of my favorites. And I love that he celebrates those relationships, you know, and the so-called ordinary things, which usually turn out to be the most important.
Was your dad as good of a ping pong player as you?
My dad was almost certainly a better ping pong player than me. I can't play ping pong to save my life. There was some clever camera angles to give the impression that I could.
You had me fooled. That looked like an Olympic moment there for a second.
Thank God.
For me, it was always going to be all about love. I'm Tim.
I'm Mary.
What's my mother's name?
I remind you of your mother?
Obviously, I should have thought this through more. Could you give me 1 second? I'm Tim.
I'm Mary.
I love your eyes.
Do you?
I love the rest of your face, too. Haven't even looked further down, but I'm sure it's all fantastic. I'm sure it'll be better next time.
Well done. Some people make a real mess of it the first time.
Amateurs.
I love how in the movie, when Tim turns 21, everything just completely changes.
Right.
For you as an actress, I need to know what that game-changing moment for you was, where you were like, I'm no longer Rachel McAdams, girl from, you know, Ontario. I'm like Rachel McAdams, A-lister. Like, what was that defining, clicking moment?
I don't know.
You don't have a standout?
No, I don't know. I still feel like that person. I don't know if you ever stop feeling like there's that sort of person inside of you, the little girl or
Small
whatever
town,
it is,
yeah.
a small town. I think it's, I guess I've tried to protect it and keep it with me because it's the reason I got here in the first place, and it's what sort of brought me to this. So yeah, you grow up, but I've never want to let go of it entirely, so.
Well, there were several, I think for all actors and all people, it's not peculiar to my job, but there are moments, there are landmarks, you know, where something shifts. There was a moment where they start bending dates, you know, where apparently there are 3 things, 3 films, and you can't do them all. And then they say, oh, but hang on, he can fly here on the 24th and get there on the 27th, you know, and they suddenly start doing that. That's when you start thinking, maybe I'll make a living.
Did you pinch yourself? Was that just
yeah, you do.
amazing?
I didn't enjoy it enough because I couldn't believe, I thought they were going to take it away any minute, you know what I mean? But
No way, you're too good.
Well, thank you.
You're too
Love
good.
Actually was another one where you thought, well, Love Actually took off, obviously, and it's kind of entered the language, and that helped. a great deal.
Truly.
Some days you want to relive forever. Will you marry me?
I think I'll go for yes.
Some days you only want to live once.
I am so
so uninterested in a life without your father?
It never occurred to me that I might lose you.
I never said you could fix everything. Not without consequences.
It's so good to see you.
We've never met before.
Oh no, what do I do?
You have to use it to make your life the way you want it to be.
I saw an interview that Domhnall did, and he wouldn't say what it was, but he said that you gave him the best advice he's ever received in his life. He said you're just a stellar advice giver, and a lot of our viewers, they're very young. They look up to people like you who have achieved such marvelous success. I would love to know, what is your advice to the teens, to the people in their young 20s, kind of going through life, someone like you who has wisdom, looking back? What is like your best little nugget of advice?
The biggest and best nugget of advice, one of the things I would say is don't take anybody's reputation at face value, make them prove it. Don't matter how successful they are, don't matter how old they are, don't matter how much money they have, just wait and see quietly. My other piece of advice is let them do the talking. And my other bit of advice is don't take drugs and pay your taxes. No one's going to like it, but it's probably my best piece of advice.
High five to that. Don't do drugs. Pay your taxes. If we were to get in a time machine and jump 10 years into the future, I did some light math, it would be the 20-year anniversary of Mean Girls. Could we expect you in 10 years to maybe be signed on for a reunion? Where do you see yourself maybe in 10 years?
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah?
I've never thought of that. I was just watching Tina Fey on the Actors Studio and thinking, oh,
can you believe that was 10 years ago?
I can't.
It's so crazy.
I
You've done so many
actually,
amazing
that's-
films since. I mean, ridiculous,
well,
right?
Thank you. Yeah, it would be great to revisit that. I mean, I loved that movie so much, and she was such a fun character to play. God, Regina George in 20 years.
You know, people are still doing the Halloween costume, the snip.
Really?
Oh yeah, I saw some girls out last night who did that. I was like, that looks all too familiar. Regina George is still making her mark on Hollywood.
My friend sent me a picture of someone who had done her in the head gear.
Oh, when she's playing lacrosse or field hockey, whatever it is. Poor
Yeah,
thing.
I know. It's sad, but yeah.
Well, congrats. You are just such a lovely actress,
thank
and
you.
it's so nice to chat
Thank
with
you.
you.
Nice to chat with you.
I never know what the future holds, just like everyone else.
Time catches up to all of us, my son.
My dad. I've tried to live every day as if it was the final day of my extraordinary, ordinary life.
I hope I see you again.
You will. My whole life depends on it.